Yeah, man, I think it's time to kind of contribute my point of view to this black on black crime thing that people be talking about, like this guy, Charleston White. He keep going around with the narrative that black people keep killing each other, and how could we ask for justice because black people keep killing each other? But the thing is, man, Tariq Nasheed, pro-black activist and a filmmaker, he pretty much said something that was profound. He said a lot of these black people that's among us, man, they come from different backgrounds, man. These people come from different countries, man. These people are different ethnic groups. These people come to America and they adopt our language and our culture, from the original slave ancestry who've been here, and they just get blended in with us, man. People talk about Chicago and the high crime and all that stuff. Man, look into these people's backgrounds, man. Yeah, they talk English and they talk Americanized English, whatever. But these people be coming from Haiti, they be coming from Jamaica, they be coming from South America, they be coming from Africa, man. They be coming from different parts of the world. Within the last 50, 60 years, man, these people are not native to this land like I am and other foundational black Americans, man, whose ancestry goes back to slavery. And we can trace these ancestral links of ours back to the plantations and at least to 1865. So we dealing with a lot of different black ethnic groups who've become Americanized, man. That's why a lot of these gangs and stuff have jumped off, and is reminiscent of tribal beefs, man. These people are tribal. Their ancestry, their ethnic groups from where they came from is tribal. So they bring that here, and it becomes gangs and Bloods and Crips and all that stuff. Yeah, we've heard about the Bloods and Crips, and there's its inception and all that, how it came about. But even in the beginning, the Bloods and Crips weren't what it is now. It was about defending black people from racism. But guess what happened? These other black people from elsewhere came into the mix and brought their tribalism with it, and have co-opted and corrupted what we've started as foundational black Americans, and took a thing that stops racism or defends other black people against racism and turned it into some tribalism bullshit where people are killing each other. And then we hear about why black people can't work together and all this. We gotta stop taking this. We gotta stop approaching this thing from a black people standpoint. We gotta recognize the ethnic background in it. We got black people coming from different backgrounds, man, different ethnic upbringings, ethnic cultures. They get passed down a few generations into the youth, man. A lot of these black youth and black people we see among us, if we're original foundational black Americans doing observing, these people are foreign, man. All this ratchetness that's going on, all this AKA dustiness that's going on, or the way black people think and galvanize with each other. It's because we're dealing with black people from different ethnic groups. We think because they're Americanized that they're black people. That's not true, man. These people have a different foundation. Their roots don't go to this North American soil, man. They don't have our foundational black American heritage. And that's why you have a lot of black people among us. youth and older people, they don't respect Dr. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X's, and they make fun of civil rights icons because these people are not from here. Here they talk like us, they may act like us, their mannerisms is American, it's black American, but they're not from here. Their roots don't go way back on this soil. You know, they commit crimes and all this stuff, and they get lumped in with us, foundational black Americans. You know, and we all get attributed to being criminals, man. Not saying that foundational black Americans don't commit crimes, but we have a different foundation, and we know where we came from. Black history is our history. Black history is not the same for everybody else who comes here, who came here post-civil rights era, 1960s and all that. These people are not from here. So you keep saying, you keep hearing guys like this guy Charleston White and others like him keep saying black people keep killing each other. We don't get up in arms about it. For one thing, when black people kill each other, black people get arrested for doing it. They don't get, it's no scot-free treatment for black people who murder other black people. See, we get up in arms, a lot of black people get up in arms when white cops do it, or when white people do it, kill black people, murder black people. It's because they don't get equivalently punished for it. That's the difference. See, crime is going to happen, man. People act like in order for black people to get justice, we're not supposed to kill each other at all. It shouldn't be that way, but that's the way it is. But that shouldn't stop justice. Just because some black people are killing each other, that don't mean somebody can come along and just kill black people, and then that's going to be accepted. You know, you got all these other races and things thinking they can kill black people and justify it because, there's black people killing other black people, as if these Asians and Mexicans and white people are not killing each other either. See, these Chinese people, these people in these Asian countries, they murder each other by the wholesale, man. They got big crime in their own countries. You don't hear about that shit because it's not in English. We got people killing people in South America, selling organs and all this shit, doing a lot of heinous things that's worse than Chicago. And you don't hear about it because it's in Espanol. It's all about perception, man. And in this American society, man, white people, yeah, I'm saying it, white people, they have some kind of policy, man, where they try to make all black people that's over here seem like the bad guys. It's intentionally done to keep us at the bottom. See, we the knock-around race. We the knock-around guys. We're the control of this experiment, of this racial experiment. They use the black race to beat up on, to maintain the order in this society. Without the black race to beat up on, white people would go back to civil wars. They would pretty much turn this country upside down, man. Black people, us being mistreated collectively and concertedly by all these other groups. We're the race that people take their issues out on. We're the punch around people, as I said before, the knock around guys. When you're feeling bad as a white man, go out there and kill you a nigger. Let the Asians do it. So, that the United States, United Whites of America would have better relations with their own countries and stuff. let all these other groups who are not from here harm black people for the betterment of the white relations with these other people's nations. You know, that's pretty much what it is, man. You know, so it's not about black people's not we don't care about other people. Yeah, we kind of numb to a lot of the stuff that black people do. But the killing, that happens in every race and culture, man, and it happens at the same or worse rates. And we keep neglecting the ethnic factor of black people as if we just one monolithic nigga, one big black nigga, as Tariq Nasheed would say. But man, we got different upbringings, man, and the ethnic factor matters. Just because people is black, man, not all these black people believe they're black. People in Africa, they don't call themselves black, man. People that come from Africa and come here, they only call themselves black when they can get something from it, but it don't have the same meaning to them. It's a foreign concept. The idea of calling yourself black. Yeah, they black, but they don't have that concept of blackness. You have Ethiopians and Somalians. White people call them white. They believe they're white people, and they're blacker than a lot of us. So when you lump people in because they look like us, like black Americans, foundational black Americans, you can call them black. Yeah, you can call them black technically, because that's what the white people named us. They're the one who classify the races. You know, they tell us if we're black or not. You know, and also, man, you got a lot of white people talking about it on racism. They try to minimize it. But why are they called white and we called black? What's the importance of classifying people by race? If race is not important, why classify people by race? They won't even let that go. See? So there's the trick right there being exposed. There's no racism, but they keep classifying us by race. What's the importance behind it? Ask any white person that. What's the importance behind it? They ain't gonna want to answer that. You know. So that's another thing right there we're dealing with. So when you got white cops, man, you got or any other cop, you murder a black person, you get away with it, man. You're ever gonna be up in arms about it. For the mere fact of you a cop, you're supposed to be better than the people that you policing on a moral level and a justice level. You're not supposed to be a corrupt individual whatsoever. But here it is, you got a bunch of corruption going on in law enforcement. You know, and that's indicative of oppression, you know. Of course, black people are going to be more upset about that. Because when black people kill black people, they get caught, they get prosecuted, they get sent to prison. They get long years, the death penalty, life in prison. But you're going to give a special favor to a cop or some white person who's not even a cop who kill a black person. You're going to say that somehow they can get out of jail and they don't have to do no prison time, or they do 5 or 10 years. They don't get life in prison like a black person would. You even letting Asians get away with killing black people. You letting all these other East Indian people get away with killing black people and not charging them equivalently as you would do black people. And black people looking at that and saying, why are you treating these other people with favor but treating us with disfavor? So yeah, crimes will happen. People will kill each other, or people have killed each other. But we supposed to not be able to commit any crime to get justice? That ain't how that go. You know, should we go over there in China or Thailand or South America, over there in Europe. They're killing each other now and over there in the war. They call it war, and that makes it right. Still murder. What are you murdering people for? Oh, you want to take their resources? You don't agree with what they say? Just because they call it war don't mean it's not murder. See, that's the thing with white society, man. They try to make it seem like because they give it a name or a title or officialize it, it's not killing. You know, you got people here, black people here, man. We go around looking at each other, pointing a finger at each other, but you have white people over there in the Middle East and wage war, and we overlook all of that stuff. That's murder. They went over there and took somebody's shit and killed them and transformed their society and brought LGBTQ shit over there and democracy and all this foreign invader governmental structure over there. You know, despite what we want to think, man, like we're not really a part of this American structure, man, as black people. White people make that plain and clear by the way they mistreat us, man. If we was a united nation or a United States of people, you know, it'll be black and white people living in close proximity to each other en masse. There won't be no racial divides nowhere. Well, that's not the case, man. You know, we have, as black people, we have been taught a warped sense of reality or morality. You know, when white people do things, when they go and wage war on people, we don't look at that as a form of crime, as a form of criminal activity. We think we're part of this structure. We've in our minds have officialized what they do, and we justify it. You know, they say they're going to wage war. They're going to do some kind of operation over across seas that deals with killing, and we just don't look at it for what it is, man. It's no difference. It's no different than black people in Chicago killing each other for territory. You know, what's the difference? Over here, they call it criminal activity. Don't you think those people over there call what the United States is doing to them criminal activity? It's all about perception, man. We got to stop looking at white people like they're the good guys. They're not the good guys. And just because they have a system set up, a structuralized system set up, that don't make them the good guys. These people are criminals, man. These people are a mob empire. They went around the world and colonized the planet for the darker skinned races, man. And they pit us all against each other. And they set up systems to make it seem official and make it seem like it's right. Like it's the right thing to do, the right thing to be, the right thing to strive for. And it's all an illusion. You know, we dealing with criminals, man. Law enforcement is not supposed to do things that is unjust. They're supposed to maintain the law and order. They're supposed to be good. But these people is criminals, man. You know, it's no different in the gang. So now you got this guy Charleston White. You know, he says a lot of real stuff, but then he says a lot of sample, aka coon things that I don't agree with. You know, you can't keep blaming black people and lumping us all into the same box and not understanding the ethnic differences between us, because we're not all from the same place. We come from different cultures, different backgrounds, and just because we've been Americanized and we speak similarly, a lot of black people have lost their accent who came from other places. You know, it's different generations as well, younger generations. So they never had the accent, but they still had that foundation from when their parents or grandparents, great-grandparents came. And they've been reared with those values from their country. And a lot of the values from other countries, they don't have the same unity guidelines when dealing with other black people from other cultures. Because a lot of them people in Africa is tribal with each other. People in Jamaica, they're not really together like that. They got their own form of tribalism. You know, a lot of them over in Jamaica kind of worship white people. A lot of them over there in Africa kind of worship white people. Now it's the Asians they worship it. So that's why it's been hard for black people to unify. You know, we're dealing with people who have different backgrounds. You know, they hear Black history in the United States, and it's like a foreign thing to them. That's why they're so eager to help white people get rid of our foundational Black American history. They have no camaraderie with it. They can't relate to our history, to our civil rights leaders, our Harriet Tubmans, you know, our Nat Turners. They can't relate to that, our Frederick Douglasses. They have no relation because they come from countries where they don't have those civil rights leaders. You know, you talk about slavery here, they can't relate to that. So yeah, we're dealing with a lot of different black ethnic groups mixed in with us. You know, they do crimes. A lot of these people from other places, they commit crimes, and we all just get lumped in the same damn box. You know, people are always wondering why we don't get along and why we can't unite. That's why. There's ethnic differences going on between black people that don't get talked about. You know, we just get treated as one black race. We're supposed to be unified. And you got Africans and Jamaicans and Haitians and people talking about, hey, we don't get along with y'all. They may not necessarily say it when they confront it, but those are the things they say behind closed doors, most certainly. Yeah, so that's the thing that needs to be addressed, man. We have a big racist problem in this world, not just this country. You got many people pointing the finger at black people in general. The fact that you as a non-black person can point and say, why are you black people doing this, proves the racism. Think about it. If there was no racism, if racism wasn't important, how could you feel comfortable? How could you have the audacity to single yourself out and point to black people and say, why are y'all killing each other? Why is there a distinction? You saying there's no racism. Or you saying race is not important or not a factor, but you make the distinction to say we're killing each other. You know, these people would tell on themselves. These non-black people would tell on themselves if you let them talk, if you ask them the right questions. If it's a distinction, why is there a distinction? Why are you pointing to black people as a white person or as an Asian or as a Middle Eastern and saying, why are you people doing this? Why is there a you people? Thought we was all one big old happy United States family, right? See the games these people play? You know, they want us to, as black people, to not think about race, to not focus on it because they don't want us united. They really don't want us united. Because if we become united, then we'll stop looking at them as the good guys. See, this is really on the metaphysical level, man. That's why you have a lot of these white racist people, man. They always asking black people to forgive them for when they commit these atrocious, unjust murders against black people and their family members. They want the black society to forgive them and pretty much forgive and forget about it. See, that's the thing. It's like we're looking at it. We're looking at it as a physical thing, but it's really spiritual. We're dealing with demonic forces, man, and principalities. Yeah, I'm gonna take it there, man. That's exactly what the devil wants us to do. See, because the thing is this, man. White society knows what it does, what it's doing to black people, man. And somehow the devil, the negative energy, has convinced itself that if it gets us to agree with it, to forgive it, it won't be punished by our creator. See, people like to think God and the devil is equal in magnitude and power. That's not true. God is our universe. God is all powerful. God has set laws into motion that fixes itself, rights itself. It's a self-sustaining balance. See, the thing with white people, white society, is they know how wicked they are. And the reason why they haven't been punished and destroyed and wiped out by the laws of our universe is because they keep getting us black people to co-sign it. See, we're delaying their destruction by us going along and forgiving them and allow them to get away with doing these wicked things to us. We're co-signing it. It's like our creator is saying, hey, if you stop forgiving these people, I can go in and take care of them for you. But if you keep forgiving them, I can't do nothing to them, or I can't do nothing to them fast enough, because eventually our universe is going to correct this wrong anyway. And it's happening now because black people is becoming smarter. But it would happen a lot sooner if black people stop forgiving white people for the atrocities they do. You can sit up here and point at black people all day and say, hey, we kill each other. Yeah, you kill each other, but you're not going to get away with it. You punish us for killing each other, but you're not going to get away with it. What if we as black people start looking at them as white people and saying, hey, y'all get away, how y'all get justice, y'all kill each other. How about we start going in their backgrounds and finding reasons to justify us killing them, and truth be told, black people have every right to kill any white person. See, that's the thing that's not being said. A lot of white people won't agree with that, of course. We have every right to do it for the simple fact that the society is set up the way it is. It's set up in a way to mistreat us. Our race is set up to mistreat us on purpose. It's deliberately set up to disenfranchise us for the benefit of the white race. We have every right to rob and steal from white people. And we can do it with a clear conscience, a non-guilty conscience, because we're set at the bottom. They have designated us as the knockaround race. That's just what it is, man. A lot of us as black people, we don't realize that we're conditioned to accept this form of mistreatment. We know it's mistreatment, but it's like it's some kind of mental block on our mind to help us cope with it. You hear comedians, we've heard comedians all our life, black comedians all our life, talk about the racial disparities, and we laugh about it. We agree that it's true. That's us that's us going along with the mistreatment. We've been conditioned to accept it because we've been born into it. You know, if you're born into a prison, which we are, we ain't gonna know we've been born into a prison because this is all we know. You know, when you have black people on TV, they can't say what they really mean about race because they're afraid, and white people know they're afraid, but they in their wicked ways, knowing that black people are afraid to get fired or to lose their job, they go along with it. They pretend, they convince themselves that it's really genuine that black people saying things about there's no racism and all this shit. But it goes back to the spiritual thing. It's like the demonic forces, it needs us to go along with it, the program. The moment black people stop accepting the wicked, the energy, stop forgiving the devil, our Creator can come in and get rid of them and give us the reins of power and control like we're supposed to have in anyway. So that's something to think about, folks. Stop forgiving these white people, man. Stop going along with other black people talking about black people is the problem. Yeah, black people kill each other. And did that mean you don't get justice, or you're not supposed to get justice because some knucklehead in Chicago is killing each other? Or you're supposed to wait on justice, because some African in his country killed himself or killed somebody or, genocided each other. You in one location, black people are in another, and we're getting totally judged as individuals based on what other black people in other areas are doing. That's racism. We don't even see that. We don't even see it for what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's racism. You judging me for what another black person is doing. See there, folks? See there, black people? Do you understand how we've been conditioned to accept these unjust terms of existence? So when you see this guy like Charleston White talk about what black people need to be doing, just understand, man. This guy too, yeah, he talks a lot of stuff like he's real and all that. He says a lot of real stuff, but he's afraid. He also has that mental block on his mind, like most black people have, to where they can't see outside the box. So I would suggest any of you black viewers is watching to look up Mr. Neely Fuller Jr. and Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, two black elders, black woman, black man. Mr. Neely Fuller Jr. is still alive. He's like in his 90s. Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, she passed on 2016, I believe. But they talk a lot about racism and how to see it from a broader perspective, from a perspective we haven't really ventured out and found out about on our own. So you got a guy, Mr. Neely Fuller Jr., black man, who lived through all that Jim Crow stuff. He got a whole totally complete perspective of racism. Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, when she was alive, she lived through it too. She was an elder. So there you go. There's some references right there for any of you guys who dare to watch this this video I'm making or I've made. But yeah, it just really irks me, man, how black people go around talking about questioning the Black Lives Matter because some black people are doing crime in some other part of the country more so than others. So I and you don't deserve justice because of what somebody else is doing, some other black folks are doing. See how twisted that is? See the logic in that? When people say black lives don't matter, black lives do matter. We say black lives matter because y'all don't believe it doesn't matter. Y'all, as in white people and all you other non-black races of people. You know, should the world stop because some black people are killing each other? The world keeps moving. Crime is going to happen. You can't eliminate crime. It's impossible to eliminate crime. Crime is a aspect of being immortal, being mortal. So long as you are a mortal being with needs, and you're in a society full of mortals, and you need to eat to live, and you need to dress yourself to stay warm, there's always going to be the potential for crime. You cannot eliminate crime. It's impossible unless you're an immortal being who don't have any needs, that you can make things on the fly that you need out of thin air. Then there's no crime. There's no need to be a criminal, because you will be a god and you can create anything you want. You know, even the most ideal of societies, if you are immortal, if you a mortal being that can be injured and you feel tired, there's always going to be the potential for crime. You know, we have emotions on top of that. The best we can do is make crime or make murder a very rare occurrence. Like hell, it might be one murder every 100 years or something. Or it'll get to the point where it's a murder every trillion years. It's never going to be completely zero. So long as a mortal being system exists, so long as people get tired, they don't feel like doing something, they want something easier. You know, the fact that you would desire something easier, that's potential for crime. That's the potential to cheat somebody, to get one up on somebody because you want it easier. See how deep this goes, folks? But here you go. You have people talking as if black people got to be the paragons of peace in order for us to get justice on an individual level. There can't be no crime. Black people cannot be killing each other at all in order for me to get justice. No other race has those stipulations. No other races on this planet gets to be crime free to get justice, but we got to be the best of humanity in order to get justice. That's injustice right there, and that's racism being practiced on us. And black people, man, we shouldn't keep going along with it and giving these white people our power, our co-signship, accepting what they do to us, because it's all a trick, man. It's all deception. You know, every time you see a white person commit a murder against a black person, they always asking to forgive them. Stop forgiving them. Stop allowing the devil to postpone its destruction. It's not about flesh and blood, folks. It's about the energy that resides within people. The devil is not a pitchfork waving entity. The devil's energy, a contrary to life equation. It bounces around in people. The devil and demons, they don't exist outside of people. See, within books and things in the Bible and things, people in ancient times, that's what they referred to as devils. They didn't have no word for it. It's an idea. Satan is an anti-life equation. It bounces around in people. The moment you feel like destroying something for no good reason, that's the devil. That's just the name. Possessions. People had seizures. Things wrong with them. They said it was demon possessions. They didn't have words for these things. But these things are just principalities, man. Our God, our creator, the Alpha and Omega, that's our universe, infinitely stretched in all directions. There's no end. That's the Alpha and Omega. Infinity. God. Whenever we look around our reality, stare up into outer space, into the universe, that's our God. Our God is everywhere, always here. And there's laws and rules that has always existed. There's no such thing as chaos. There's no such thing as disorder. Because given enough time, all patterns are found out. There's a pattern. Anything that seems to be chaotic, let time stretch out. Long enough, you'll find a pattern in it. Order always existed. Order is always deliberate. Because order has to be maintained. So God has always existed. And there's laws set up that rights the wrongs of things that are disorder or disorganized or not operating the way our universe wants those things to operate. So these things get kind of heavy, man. Yeah, but back to this guy, Charleston White, man. Like I said earlier, he says a lot of real stuff, man, but then he veers off and start patting these white cops or any cops on the back and congratulating them. But man, these people are the problem, man. What am I saying here, black people? That we just go out and start gunning white people? No, I'm saying maybe in time that might happen. But I'm saying stop looking at white people like they're the good guys. Stop looking at this system, this government we're in, as if it's the official thing of reality, like it's the way it's supposed to be. There's all kind of governments of how things could be or should be that is better than this form of government, but we're the mistreated people. We shouldn't look at this way of government, democracy, or whatever they want to call it, as if it's the best that we can do, the best human thing, the human way to live. This is not the best. It's better for white people. They got a totally different perspective on life. See, we're just going by this reality as black people, man. And even as black people, we find some comfort in it. Just imagine how a white person feel, dominating every fucking thing, ruling in every fucking thing. When they get pulled over by police, they don't worry about being killed. And these white people like to tell us how hard they have it. But as soon as they get a little bit of a hardship in their life that's similar to a black person's, they're ready to storm the Capitol. So that tell you right there, they have a totally paradisal, if you want to call that a word, way of looking at life. Even a poor, impoverished white person has a totally different outlook on life than a rich black person does. Because this white person, no matter how poor they are, they have no glass ceiling. They can always get cleaned up. They can always get cleaned up and moved to a higher position in society than a black person. That same white person can tell a lie and get a rich, wealthy black person locked up and in prison. You know, the white person gets the benefit of the doubt over the black person, no matter how rich and how much prestige a black person has. One so-called good lie from that white person, and that's a wrap for the black person. That's the kind of society we living in, man. I don't know why people don't want to fess up. A lot of you white people, if y'all watching this video, man, y'all don't want to fess up. I keep dancing around the race issue, man. See, because y'all are afraid. Y'all are afraid. See, back in the day, y'all wasn't afraid, but at the same time, during Jim Crow and prior to that, black people were still giving y'all our power because we want to be accepted by y'all. A lot of us wanted to be accepted, and that was a way of us co-signing the devil, which is you. You know, the devil, like I said before, the devil is not a pitchfork horn entity. The devil is a principality. It's negative energy. And that devil lives in you white people, man. That devil resides in you all. And why do I say this? Because y'all go along with the racism. Y'all don't fight against it. Y'all don't say it's wrong to do these black people this way. Y'all like the status quo. Y'all like it just the way it is. And y'all put us in binds in y'all society to force us to go along with it. But slowly but surely that's changing. This can't exist forever. This can't exist forever. It won't. So there's a saying, the thing you fear most will transpire. You're afraid of a black planet, it's gonna happen. You keep trying to interfere with our Creator's plans. These things you guys are doing, promoting LGBTQ lifestyle and all this stuff, trying to stifle the rearranging of order to fix these wrongs. Y'all delaying the inevitable. You will not have your way forever. No matter if y'all start exploring planets or any of that stuff. But best believe there's other beings out here. And if you don't learn your lesson on this planet, you're going to come across those beings and they're going to wipe you the fuck out. Because the logic goes like this, folks. If you're an extraterrestrial society and you have a society that has been around for eons, I mean eons, you got beings out there that have been in existence, have been at peace with each other for trillions of fucking years. They say the universe is a billion years old. That's incorrect. The universe has no age. It's incalculable. But the logic goes like this. Society has been around for so long. That means they have a very rigid order of justice. It's swift. It's precision. So here you go, Mr. White Man, Mr. Asian man. You know, y'all think y'all gonna wipe black people off the face of the earth? And y'all not gonna learn y'all lesson, see? If you can't get along with us here, you're not gonna get along with those extraterrestrials. They're not gonna think how we think. These beings have been observing peace for countless centuries, for thousands, trillions, millions of years, billions of years. In order to maintain that order, their society is going to be very rigid with the law. Any kind of lying won't be tolerated, no matter how small it is. No kind of deceit will be tolerated. No kind of trickery. Now here you come, having learned your lesson, trying to step to these beings and try to do what you do to them with us. They're going to wipe you the fuck out. They're not going to give you no chances. They're not going to negotiate with you. They're going to wipe you the fuck out. That's what's waiting for you white people out here in this universe. That's the logical way of looking at it. You think a spacefaring species of extraterrestrials made it far, warring with each other? Really think they got this far, warring with each other? Survived so long, successfully. They done been there and done that, and have damn near perfected their society. And here you come, think you're going to try to maneuver and trick them and take their resources. They're going to wipe you the fuck out. But, you know, I didn't got off the deep end a little bit, but I'm going to leave it on that.